y'all.
What
You
the-
on speaker leaks.
About time.
What the business is, who the witness is. You know.
What's the deal, man? It's Tank the Machine. Same cat since forever.
What the business is, who the witness is. You know. D.O.A. Ron G. You know what I mean? I'm chilling like a villain, cap peeling if a nigga get the tripping. Trying to stack my paper to the ceiling, you know how I'm feeling.
Oh, got that hot 16. So, tell me what's been happening. What's the newest development?
You want to go?
Man, new music. Just been in the studio cooking like crazy. Really just putting together this up and coming project, piecing all of the thoughts and the idea and the creativity and the verses and the instrumentation and the instruments and the engineering and the production, just piecing everything together right now for me anyway. New tape, I don't even want to get too deep into it, but definitely working on new music, developing new music, creating new sounds, trying to push the envelope with this next jump, you know what I mean? And other than that, just working like crazy, trying to keep my content up, videos, little freestyles and be here and there, photo shoots, just staying in people's face, you know what I'm saying, but not being overbearing, you know. That's just really what I've been on, you know, just trying to stay active out here, stay active.
That's what's up.
For me, we fresh off the Ron G Code 2. That did fairly decent, you know what I mean, but right now I'm planning to keep increasing the intensity, dropping singles and things of that nature. I just dropped one a few days ago titled Cobra. It's like a little, a little lyrical spat that I went on. We currently working on the D.O.A. Prime and Passion series, documentative series, and that's just to give people.
We on episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4 coming up. Obviously, we dropped 3 already. No, I mean just to give people,
Check them out.
just to give people a insight on what goes on behind the scenes, and just give people more of who we are. Cause we active on social media, but we ain't active on social media. So you know what I'm saying. That's to give people a little taste of our character and personality. Those that don't know us personally. And last year we prepping for South by Southwest, ready to make some noise. And when we come back to the crib, the streets gonna be on fire.
That's what's up. So definitely excited to hear that.
Absolutely.
I know. Tank, you had calendars and
Calendars, yeah.
back to work. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what was the inspiration behind those singles right there?
Oh, we finna dig deep. Okay, calendars. Calendars was I went into my last album with the idea of creating 3 records. I had 3 records in mind prior to even starting that album, which is 25 the Moment. I had an idea to do these 3 records, and there was like preconceived ideas for songs prior to even receiving instrumentals for them, prior to me even writing hooks or verses. I just had 3 ideas I knew that I wanted to get out for my last album. And Calendars was one of those ideas. I was like, man, it's just something about that phrase, that term, because I've had a lot of people in and out of prison system in my life, whether it be older brother, older cousins, uncles, family members. And it was just, that term was stuck in my head just from hearing my family said, like, you gonna be doing calendars, get your, So I just took that term, and I just said, man, I want to write a song called Calendars based on people's experience with the judicial system, or the justice system, in and out of jail, or who's been through those type of things, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what I did was I went and hollered at Bo Willie. And I wasn't even fishing for that. I wasn't even fishing for a beat for that song. Mm-hmm. I just heard this crack that Bo Willie had whipped up, and I was like, let me get that, you know what I'm saying? And when I was playing the beat, I just freestyled the hook. It came to me. I just got the harmonizing and the singing. Calendars, and I was like, I'm not even finna think too hard. Let's lay that hook down. Mm-hmm. Laid the hook down, and just built the idea and the verses of the song around the hook, and I was like, man, that was one of my ideas I wanted to get out prior to even starting the project. Mm-hmm. So I was really, really happy that came to life the way it did. The 3rd verse was Byron Hayes, which is my older brother who did 10 years in state penitentiary. And just based on the flow that I use, just based off of the tempo of the beat, I feel like it would have been a good fit for him. Mm-hmm. And plus, based on his experience in doing calendars, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like it was a good fit for him, you know what I'm saying? So I reached out to him. Of course, he jumped on it, you know. Of course, he jumped at the opportunity to jump on it. And that's how calendars came about, man. And that's my little sister vocals on it, singing. That's me singing, my little sister singing, my little brother, my big brother rapping on it, you know. And then this guy had a dope idea to shoot a visual to it, you know what I'm saying? And we just created this crazy, realistic, just visual, man, of me in the actual jail cell in the jumpsuit, you know what I'm saying? And we had a white cop, a white CO, you know what I'm saying? So it was like super legit, man, and dope video, calendars. Back to work, how did we whip up? I was in the studio with E-Beezy from 9 to 5, you smell me? And E-Beezy just sitting there cooking up with that crazy dude, man. He sent me that little snippet of the beat. I actually thought the beat was whack when I first heard it. I was like, I wasn't fooling with just a little melody. Me and the Sanders was talking about that. He sent me the beat. I thought it was whack, but I love a challenge. So I just wrote a verse to it anyway, you know, just kind of just playing around. And didn't even come up with the hook or the actual concept of the song until we got in the studio. I kind of played with the beat a little bit, but then didn't come up with nothing official. Got in the studio, and I just was like, that dude, that really was how stuff be happening. Just out of like good spirit and freestyling and having fun. I was like, that dude work. He was like, yeah, dude, let's say, then he pushed his glasses up. Yeah, G, that's it, G. You know what I mean? So, man, freestyled the hook, back to work, and whipped up the verses right there on the spot. It was so energetic. I just felt like we needed a visual. Came with the energy and the visual. You know, they call me Millie Rock King now. You know what I'm saying? Hit the Millie in that jump. But I mean, that's just
can you show us really quick if you don't mind?
My Millie,
as soon as Millie Rock.
Yeah, she tried to put me on the spot.
I tried to put you on the spot.
It's all right.
That's what's up.
I got you though. We're gonna hit the Millie later on for sure.
We got the Millie Rock later, y'all.
It's up.
How about you, Ryan? I know you got not back to work. You got Bragging Rights and Cobra, most recent. Tell us a little bit about both of those.
Well, with Bragging Rights, initially the inspiration for that track came from man, we had took a quick business trip down to Atlanta, me and Tank, and this was really impromptu, like middle of the week. Like, fuck it, let's go this weekend. And we went down there, man, and just the vibe that I got from the city was so good. I feel so good being down there, man. Like, you know, when you surveying foreign territory, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you just be on guard because you just don't know, you know what I'm saying, that's the area. But, man, I went down there like 3 times in my life, and each time, like, that feeling I got was like an adrenaline rush, you know what I mean? Like, the energy just feels so good. Man, you got homeless people smiling and saying what's up to you when you down there, you know what I'm saying? Just that whole energy and vibe, like, inspired me to write Bragging Rights when I got back to St. Louis or whatever. We was just in the studio. I had a beat in my email and I was listening to it, you know what I'm saying? And I had him come up with the first half of the hook. I wrote the second half, and whatever came out just came out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then even with a track like that, to go further into context with it, like, the way I make music, I always want to convey some type of little slick message in my song, even if it's as turned up as that. You know what I mean? And then I had a crazy idea. Like, for the video, I shot it, I wanted to be, I usually have like big concepts behind my videos, but I did a video in front of a barbershop. And then he hit me like maybe a couple days before the video shoot, like, hey man, some cats want to bring the cars out. You know what I'm saying? All that. I'm like, oh man, we all what's up? So we made it a movie, man. I called my dog More or Less, shout out More or Less Media. You know what I'm saying? He came and we did the video, man, and turned it out. Dudes was doing donuts in the middle of the street. We held up traffic.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was
Tank was holding a tank.
The Tank was holding a tank. You know what I mean? Right. We had what was that? What you call them?
Nitrous.
Yeah, little nitro tanks and stuff. And man, it turned out to be great, man. That was one of my biggest songs actually to this day. And even with the Cobra joint, like, man, I just felt like on some rapping tips. I had one of my homies, Devin, shout out Devin too. He sent me a little instrumental, said, what can you do with this? He sent the beat to me the first night. I wrote the song the night I got it, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just feeling, you know what I mean, that beat, it was saying something to me. So I just, you know, I wrote a whole, I think the song probably like 2 minutes, so I'm just straight rapping on that joint.
Yeah.
And then me and my boy DeSantis from Imagine You Media, shout out Imagine You Media, we just did a video shoot a couple days ago, and it should be coming out. I released the song Friday. So, you know, it did like maybe 700-800 plays on SoundCloud or something like that.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? So I dropped it on there. You know what I mean? So it's doing its little numbers, and now we about to drop the video real soon. So yeah,
That's what's up.
you know, little quick stuff. You know what I mean? Little warm up, testing the temperature. You know what I'm saying?
Testing the waters.
Yeah.
So tell me about both y'all in the group, D.O.A. Tell us how D.O.A. started, and just a little bit about the background with D.O.A.
Who want to elaborate? You want to elaborate, bro?
Yeah, I can
Let's
start
go
with
ahead,
that.
cook it up, bro. Cook it up.
All right, man. This was around like it was 2013. That's when I had really started taking rap seriously. Well, really coming out 2012, but I ain't make my first music of my own till like 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we started off as ILR, you know what I'm saying, and which was like a record label, you know what I mean, that he had started, and I just fell under the umbrella, you know what I mean, because this my dog, you know, I'm riding with whatever. And I had an idea for a project that I had, and my first project that I made was titled D.O.A. Stands for Dimension of Ascension. And honestly, where did I come up? No, I was listening to this rapper named K Reno, an underground legend from Houston, Texas. And I was just listening to some of his music, and I heard him say something about, he had a song called Perpetual Ascension, where he just going crazy. And then I just heard myself rapping one day, and I was just playing around with a little freestyle, and I was like, something about Dimension of Ascension. And then it just clicked, like, damn, I can make that an acronym, you know what I'm saying? And when I made it an acronym, it was just so befitting, you know what I'm saying? And that's what my project turned out to be. And when I did that, you know, we had linked up with my boy King D. Seals, R.I.P. Darren Seals, my dog. Like, when we all got together, it's like naturally people just started to form, you know what I'm saying, a group, because the acronym became so popular. People started to see the hashtag all over the place. And when they saw us together, they like, oh, y'all D.O.A. And then it just naturally meshed together, and that's how people made it D.O.A. And it's been that movement ever since then, you know what I'm saying? So,
Definitely.
I mean,
And
that's what D.O.A. is.
I think it's been dope to see it grow too, man. For it to, in my opinion, like to see it grow or expand as a just as a group and as a brand, from me rapping from the age of like 16, 17, you know what I'm saying, and just growing as an individual artist. And I used to tell them all the time, I used to feel like an artist hopping around on one leg. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like when we start doing it together, it created a foundation for us to stand on. You know what I'm saying? And I always thought that was dope. But just watching it grow from me just rapping by myself to linking up with dude, making him do a tape, you know what I'm saying? And then jumping out there and creating this brand together. Then we linked up with the homie, the big brother, D.O.A. And it just was solidified from there. And that gave us like the last ounce of little respect that we needed for people to realize, yeah, them boys for real, you know.
Definitely.
So, you know, it's more like what it represents, man. Is D.O.A. represent more than just music. It's more of a lifestyle. Always progressing everything that you do. If you're not progressive, then you're at a standstill. Like, I don't condone lackadaisicalness. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone not moving your feet or trying to improve yourself in some kind of way. I'm always figuring out little meticulous ways to get better at something. I'm always studying something. Like, I'm a studier of human behavior and life that goes on around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an impulsive, reactive person. You know what I'm saying? I let things play out before I actually, you know, take course. I call that seeing it more than on face value. You know what I'm saying? I'm very analytical about a lot of things. And DOA is just being in that realm of consciousness and spirituality, and making life larger than your circumstances at the current moment. You know what I'm saying? It's about being resilient. It's about being tough. It's about being strong, mentally tough, spiritually tough, physically tough. You know what I'm saying? And like for me, I've been through those points where I understood that I had potential gifts and talent, but I didn't know how to hone it and make the most out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it put me in a depressive state of mind because it's like I know I'm destined for something great, but I don't even know how to activate it. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, hey, I finally like this almost feel like my calling too, even though I feel like it's more of a passion for him than me. But I feel like it just fell right here in my lap because I do got the gift of gab and I do got something to say and a story to tell. So it's like it just fell off on me, and now we in our stride with it now. You know what I'm saying? Through years of battling, trying to figure out which way to go with it. You know what I'm saying? And who messed with it, and you know what I mean, all that. And now everything is starting to make sense and it's starting to click. You know what I mean? So D.O.A. is forever. I got it tatted on me, and it just means more than music.
Hey, you know what's funny? I think for me, what it mean what we was talking about the other day. Like this OG, my daddy partner told me one time, and he was a little faded, but he was dead serious. He was speaking from the heart. When we talking about the other day, I was like, the biggest room in the house is the room for improvement. And I said, and that's what dimension of ascension is for me. It's putting yourself in a position, which is the dimension of constantly moving forward and uplifting, and there's always room to progress. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what it represents for me.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I always tell people, the only thing that's impossible is the things you don't try. And shout out to GLC. He said something a while back on Kendrick's section.
Apply yourself
to supply your wealth. Any limitations are those that you place upon yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best thing I ever heard.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's that's true. Like a lot of people don't even. A lot of people love drama. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like a lot of people don't know how to separate themselves from that when they create that neither. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard Charlamagne say something. You gotta have a healthy balance of ratchetness and righteousness. I am ratchet as a mom, you know what I'm saying? But I have my moments when I wanna be righteous, you know what I'm saying? And when I'm righteous, I don't even want nothing to do with no ratchet. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like I know how to separate the two, and I know how to compartmentalize in my mind and know when I can turn up or when, you know what I'm saying, I can cut that off. Right. You know what I mean? And still be me. I remain me through all of it, you know what I'm saying? Because I am who I am. There's many different dimensions to my character. You know what I'm saying? So that's like that adaptation. I can fit in whatever environment that I'm in because I'm controlled enough in my mind to do so. You know what I'm saying? So D.O.A. has many different levels to it though.
I see. That is very insightful to me because I know y'all. And I know D.O.A. from like the music aspect and as a friend aspect, but to really see and hear y'all explain the levels that D.O.A. is and that it's a lifestyle, that explains who y'all are because y'all character speaks for itself. And everything that y'all do from business, from advice to marketing. Like I actually look up to y'all. Like I consider y'all brothers. And I don't have no brothers, so that's a huge. So
absolutely. No, like in time, like you talking about inspiration, you in this brand and watching how fast it took off and how quickly it started to grow, you know what I'm saying, and how you developed a following already, you know what I mean? But you always in the right places. I see you on social media like she's here, she's there, she's with Yachty, she's with, you know what I'm saying?
I thought she was at the Grammys.
Hey, she timed that. She timed that. She knew exactly what she was doing.
She ain't called me.
I would never.
She knew exactly what she was doing. She timed it perfect. I thought it was tight though. So I admire you. I admire innovative, forward-thinking people who's always.
And I'm gonna tell people this too, man. The secret to life is dealing with women, man. Like dealing with women that's progressive and prosperous in the mind. You know what I'm saying? Not ones that's gonna be a deterrent to you. And that's like even for us, like we like doing business with women because women are great with the follow through. You know what I'm saying? And then a woman would love to be a part of something productive and constructive without allowing her pride and ego to get in the way of what you're doing. Because, you know, sometimes you get men and they might feel a little insecure about what other men doing and compare themselves to that. And that's where everything go downhill, because your pride and insecurities allow you to wreck something, you know what I'm saying, a well-oiled machine. And
Right.
you know what I mean? That's why I love doing business with you, or you know what I'm saying, my publicist Jasmine. Shout out Jasmine.
Shout out.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Young money on the side.
Women are the key to survival. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that way. Really.
So, kind of switching up gears a little bit here.
Mhm.
Tell me about like how y'all market yourselves. I know you independent and you put out all your music. You do all of your Facebook marketing. You do your Twitter marketing. You do your Instagram. You make sure your promotion is there. Tell us a little bit, well, tell me and the audience a little bit of how you learn about that and how you go forward with that.
I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from my publicist. I learned a lot from my little brother, who is a young up-and-coming musical marketing genius. I learned a lot just from studying other people's actions. I am a studier of life, a student of life. You know, I just sit back and I watch things. I soak up things like a sponge, you know what I mean? And I just try to take advice from whoever sounds like they're talking some sense. You know what I mean? When I don't know things, I don't mind asking questions. I don't mind taking constructive criticism. But some different strategies I've been using the hell out of this Facebook. Just Facebook marketing. I try to make sure my IG is on point, make sure everything flows smoothly. I try to make sure everything looks professional, 100% professional. I just try to stay in pocket. You know what I mean? I don't try to do anything too sloppy. What he was saying, he would think hard. What do you say? Just like how he makes strategic moves. I like to be free spirited, but tamed, well tamed. You know what I'm saying? I know that's like a contradiction, but I feel like that's kind of what sells me and what for other people. What's like, oh, I'm sold on that kid. He has the energy we're looking for, but he also has that certain poise that I can see him, you know, just doing things that, just being in a good space. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's part of my market employee as well. You know what I'm saying? I just try to make myself a sellable person. And also by like covering all aspects, covering all ground, whether it be through music, whether it just be through how I'm presenting my brand, you know what I'm saying? Just from this aspect to that aspect, from this end of the spectrum of what I represent to that end of the spectrum of something I may represent. You know, I just like to cover all bases. And I think that's probably the best marketing thing I got going naturally. You know, something I don't have to pay for. Just be a good person. You know what I'm saying? Be a good person. Show them that you can do this, show them you can do that naturally. You know, and that's probably my best marketing tool. You smell me?
Yeah.
So.
I feel the same way, man. My best marketing tool is when people get to know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool on the internet, but I ain't
Pull up.
I ain't as heavy as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? With the internet, most internet marketing I see now is people acting a fool on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like it's working, but I feel corny doing staged foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather you catch me in my natural acting a fool versus me having to stage it and feel corny doing it. You know what I'm saying? But man, my best marketing skill, man, is my gift of gab. You know what I mean, to people, and you know, just I guess good music. You know what I mean? Other things that I'm gonna work on for sure, but I don't really got no great answer for that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's so cool. That's great because y'all know. So that speaks to your marketing right there.
You're doing something right.
Yeah, you definitely doing something right.
Yeah, people know you.
Yep. So I'm kind of switching up gears a little bit again. If right now you were offered a record deal, would you take it or would you say independent?
You know, that is a good ass question. I think about that all the time, right? Man, that's good. I feel like I'm independent to the core. You know what I mean? I feel like just we just go back to what we were just saying. When you're talking to a person who's been their self for almost going on 30 years, you know what I'm saying? Like 25 solid years of being yourself, I'm already a man. You know what I'm saying? So I would feel extremely uncomfortable trying to jeopardize any portion of my character or my personality to please or satisfy a major corporation. You know what I'm saying? Is I feel like, and this is something we talked about in the last Prime and Passion, I feel like I have something to offer people or a corporation, therefore I want 50-50 compensation. You know what I'm saying? If you have something to offer me and I don't have to jeopardize my character or my personality or who I am as a person, then I'm open to the idea, at least. You know what I'm saying? If you have something to offer, and I'm open to the idea. If you have something to offer and I don't have to jeopardize anything, I'm open to the idea. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that I would necessarily turn a situation down, but I can't say I just jump into first situation neither. I'm still a man who's been rocking how I've been rocking for 20-some solid years. You know what I'm saying? So it just all depends on the situation. It all depends.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on the situation. Depending on how much money they offering, how much time or how many albums, you know what I mean, and how much freedom do I have to be me. You know what I mean? Like all of that I have to tie in and make sense. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I have to understand the history of the person or the business that I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But if you really think about it, at this time, in a world where you literally can monetize a lot of stuff and really become your own business, just got to have the right people in place in order for it to be a well-oiled machine. It's really about entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? And at this time where, you know, everything is direct to consumer, what sense would it really make to do that unless, you know what I'm saying, you have an upside going into a situation to where they can help you run your organization or whatever you have going on, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that really depends on the leverage. If we have the leverage, you know what I'm saying, then it might make a little more sense, you know what I'm saying? As long as we allowed to be who we are, you know what I mean, in a situation is financially and literally, literally right as far as the writing, you know what I'm saying, and all the fine print things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I can't say no. But I can't just say yeah.
It's a lot of prosperous independents out here, man. Like Nipsey.
Absolutely.
You see what Nipsey
And I'll be
doing. You
cool
see
with
what
the
Chance
situation.
Yeah, you see what Nipsey doing. You see what Chance doing. You see what see what Lil Uzi doing. You know what I mean? Starlito. Like a lot of these cats, man, they got independent movements and they have a cult following and they fans. Currency, yeah, like a lot of Tech Nine. You know what I'm saying?
Most
like,
successful indie cat of all time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You gonna forever eat because you got people that are loyal to you, and those are the ones that love you for you and not what's being presented because you forced to hear them all day. Right. You know what I mean? Because you see some artists, they come and you know what I'm saying, you get at least one every year. You know what I mean? That blow up real quick, and then somehow, you know what I'm saying, they fizzle out and they fade. And then even with the way that some music is made, it's not made to transcend. So, you know, after certain people, audiences grow up, you know what I mean? Like when they start to mature, that fan base start to decrease a little bit. If your music hadn't had any type of longevity or transcended element to it, like for example, Soulja Boy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All his fans grew up and, you know, now they own to something different. And, you know what I'm saying? It's not as prosperous as, you know what I mean, it used to be. Right. You know what I mean?
You ain't cranking that no more?
Hell no. I probably only did it a few times then. I was more of a Boosie fan at that time anyway.
How you crank that?
You. This ain't about
I think it's the other way.
No, but I'm saying they started up.
He crisscrossed this. Yeah. But you know, man, like it. You know, a lot of the independent people, man, they making it happen right now, and they actually have cachet in the game as far as big names. You see, Chance just won 2 Grammys, 3. You know what I'm saying? And that's strictly independent, and that's having the right people in place and understanding his core. Like that has to count for something. You know what I'm saying?
I think that'd be the most gratifying way to do it for me. I feel like if I could stay 100% indie like my entire career and be super successful, I would much rather. You know what I mean? Because like we talk about all the time, we have all the essential pieces to the puzzle for a successful formula. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I would be much more satisfied if we did it 100% indie, 100% of the way. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I ain't saying no neither. But I ain't saying no.
So, tell me a little bit about y'all performing, because I saw y'all at Slumfest, and that was lit.
Hey, shout out to you for getting like some of the best footage. And no, forget that. The footage was dope, but the editing she did took the footage off the phone and stuff. That was next level, bro.
I ain't seen nobody else with no footage. The Santos was too turned up to get
He already turned up. Oh boy, who's on the stage? On my cat, man. Down the hole, man.
Oh, not me.
Yeah. He had some crazy footage of like us up on the stage. But yeah, that performance was lit, you know. Hey man, I did what I always do.
Jumped in the crowd, knocked a few purses out there.
Hey, whoever that girl was, hey, if you see whoever that girl was, not downplay like that girl, but like whoever that young woman was that I pushed, and then I grabbed you by your waist. That was like an enduring thing. I totally apologize for first pushing you, and I apologize for grabbing your waist afterwards. But it was just out of the moment and passion. So if you do see this, I apologize, and that's from Tank. You know, but the performance was great. I had a good time, man. It was dope. I thought it was super cool for him to bring my boy King D. Seal's little brother Byron out. The little homie, he came out and rocked out. That was his first time in front of that type of crowd doing this type of thing, you know. It was totally unexpected. I wasn't even expecting that, but that was hard. I thought that was a super special moment. Shout out to Yana for crying. That was hard. Man, shout out to the Slumfest cats for inviting us to do the thing, you know.
Yeah, to even recognize it, man. Yeah. Like we had been around there for like 4 years and shit. We ain't even get recognition before. You know.
Shout out to the niggas that beat us.
Right.
Shout out to my cat mastermind. You whack for beating me. But that's 100 though, man. That's 100. Luke Rat won. Yeah. Group Rat.
Shout out Luke Rat. They went to South by Southwest.
Hey, Luke Rat tight, man. Yeah.
15.
Yeah. We linked up with them.
We was out there freestaling at South by Southwest.
While they was on the drums and the saxophone outside.
Yeah, but to get back to the performance though, yeah, that was turned. That night was crazy. First of all, I be out my body whenever I perform. You know what I'm saying?
Special moment,
I can give Busta. Hey, Busta, I can give you a run for your money on stage. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes. Yeah, man, that night was so crazy. What's crazy about that? Before we went on stage, I just had this nervous feeling like I had never had before I performed. I'm talking about my hands had started, like my palms was sweaty. Knees weak, arms was, but my palms, like I had, like my wrist went numb and everything before I got on stage. And I really feel like that was just the whole spirit was just taking over, you know what I'm saying? By the fact of, first of all, it was like emotional, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the first performance of the year. And then we had my brother Darren Seals' little brother there, you know what I mean? And then what that meant to us, you know what I'm saying, was kind of crazy because I knew when we performed that song, I was really gonna be turned up, and all of that just came over me, and I was just feeling myself, and man, like all that people in that crowd was there, and we just flashed out. I'm talking about out. As soon as the 9 to 5 came on, and we just got live when that first hook dropped, and I heard Smitty even say, "Stay on your job." You know what I'm saying? He was going crazy. Shout out DJ Smitty. You hear me? Like it was just crazy, man. And anytime we perform, man, people should expect to get something like that every time we perform, because it's about, like in this game, it's more than about just the music. It's about the showmanship as well. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? What am I going, like as a fan, like if I'm a fan, I'm thinking, what am I going to get from this artist if he get up here and perform? Because one thing I hate to listen to a person and their music crazy, but then they get up there and their performance don't match. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta represent myself through the music and in the physical. You know what I'm saying? When I'm right there in front of you, this supposed to be everything that you envisioned when you was listening to my music.
Right. And
that's what I give to you. Even if you don't expect that, I'm gonna overdo it. You know what I'm saying? But without exaggerating to the point where you feel like, oh, he doing too much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But giving you enough to be like, I got to see him again next time I find out he performed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how I do it.
I was turned up, man. It was a good night.
It was great.
That's one of the nights I wish I could just rewind.
That's one of the nights I wish we can just do it all the time, like 2 or 3 shows a week. You know what I'm saying? With like turned up audiences, turned up crowds, and performances.
Yeah.
That'll be 1,000. That'll be hard.
That was actually my next question. Would you ever like consider like hosting your own tour and just going to some of your
Most
favorite
definitely.
like places to go?
Nah, most definitely. I most definitely would. Obviously, finances got to be all the way together. But I feel like it's down the road. Like we gonna get there. Like we are gonna get there, and soon. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna be like putting these shows together on touring, and having artists that come up under us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's to come. But we will most definitely put a tour together and be out here giving other cities the same experience. You know what I'm saying?
It's just about having that. It's just about having that team, man. Like it's important to have a team. You know what I'm saying? Having people that believe in the same vision and goals that you have. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's important. So, I mean, as long as the team is everybody is on the same track, we're gonna get to that destination without derailing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. So
I feel.
You got one.
that's it, y'all.
That's it.
So, I mean,
I'm ready for some more.
You ready for some more? We gotta get a part 2.
That's all good. We hit the part 2 then.
And we definitely gonna check out Prime and Passion if y'all have not been watching.
4 should be this Sunday, right? That way, yeah.
Yeah.
4 should be this Sunday. Prime and Passion 4. I'm sorry, 4. Should be dropping this
Nah,
Sunday.
he meant 4.
Can I say 4? Can I say 4? Yeah, it should be Prime and Passion 4, man, this Sunday. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you for the opportunity again.
Appreciate y'all.
Likewise, sister, likewise. We really do mean it like we're learning from you,
Thank you. I learned from y'all. So this
My
is
little sister, right? Any of you? Never mind. It's speaker leaks. We gonna keep it PG. You heard me?
for now. It's
That
part
way.
2.
Yeah, that way.
D.O.A.
Hey, this is a righteous ratchet part 2.
Hey,
Righteous on part 1, ratchet on
Hold
part 2.
on, bro. Hold on. Follow me on Twitter, D.O.A_Ron G. On Instagram at D.O.A. Ron G. All together. Don't call me the wrong somebody. Hey, somebody call me the wrong. Hey, and on Facebook, Facebook and Ron G with 2 E's. Facebook wouldn't let me get that single G, so I had to put 2 E's on there. You hear me? But yeah. And matter of fact, just Google me, baby. D.O.A. Ron G. It's gonna take you to all my articles, videos, and my music. You hear me? 100.
Same way here, man. Tank Machine on everything. Tank Machine on Facebook, Tank Machine on IG, except for Twitter. Twitter kind of played me. But it's Tank Official on Twitter, at Tank Official.
And we got a couple new members, that we're going to announce right here. My dog, Bank Chambers, you know what I'm saying? And my brother, Wooder. NSU Wooder is his name. But yeah, they solid D.O.A. members now, you know what I'm saying? So the brand is increasing, the talent is growing and coming along, and the mission of ascension is the mission. 100.